my god, I'm blind. Today we're at Animal Kingdom and we're going to just spend the day here. We have a few fast passes as well. And the first thing we're going to do is the safari. So yay! This is one of our favourite things because it has really good rides. And there's loads of animals and we love animals. He is so cool.
Down, so he's right where it's the down.
So, Animal Kingdom literally has loads of different lands that have like wild animals in them. So there'd be like Africa, Asia. I actually can't remember the other ones yet, but it literally is like being in Africa.
Churros in Africa.
Stalls, fruit. And we're going on the safaris.
Alright folks. Beautiful forest antelope. You've got Papa Bongo sitting down. Baby Bongo in the middle that was born here last fall, and Mama Bongo over here on the right.
Aww.
Mama Bongo's horns crisscross because they're basically ornamental. Papa Bongo's horns are heavier and straight because he has to defend the girls. Now when they run through the woods, as big as those horns are, they just tilt their head, they won't get tangled up in the bushes. So we call him the ghost of the forest. There's an okapi in the woods to your right, all the way up against the bamboo fence. Dark brown, white face, striped legs, reclusive, shy. Okapi were not identified in the wild by Western man until 1901. The striping on the legs, that's how they see each other when they run through the woods together. Otherwise, it's just camouflage. They are not related to the zebra. Okapi have long necks, they have elongated jaws, and they're the only relative of the giraffe. Want to learn more about them? There's an excellent exhibit. It's on the Gorilla Falls Trail planet, and that includes the ones that are in protected reserves. This guy weighs about 2,800 pounds. He's got a narrow jaw with a point. I saw earlier up the hill. Here's another one. They don't grow horns. Only the boys carry the horns in the greater kudu herd. But when these girls are done growing, they're going to weigh about 400 pounds each. Hi, sweetheart. How you doing? Yes, aren't you pretty? Yeah, she don't like the truck noise at all. We're going to head on to form social groups called bloops or herds. You can see at this angle that the ears, the eyes, and the nose are all up on top of their head. You rest your chin on your buddy's butt and you keep your nose out of the water. That's what they do. The island, those are pink-backed pelicans. They love it here. They've been nesting here about 10 years. They will display a very pale pink stripe down their back when they nest. Down here at the end of the island, look carefully. There's two nests. There's 3 chicks in the 2 nests. The chicks are almost the same size as the adults. If they turn their heads, the beaks are still pretty small. These chicks are only 3 weeks old. Yeah, baby birds grow up very, very quickly. The water directly beneath this bridge. So I don't care how bad your feet long and weigh 1,500 pounds. They don't move much. They're ectotherms, meaning they have a slow metabolism because they depend on the environment to warm their body and digest their food. Don't get too close. on top of the rocks, that is an African wild dog looking right at you. Black with gold and white, there's another one. Also known as the painted dog. They are a pack animal. There might be 15 of them out here. This pack would be led by a dominant male and a dominant female. They are one of the most efficient predators on the savannah because they hunt together. They hunt cooperatively and they're really good at it. Isolate an animal from a herd, track it, you can stop. The short one here on the right, you can see the opening on top of it. This is a very elaborate ventilating system. These mounds are honeycombed with tunnels to allow fresh air to circulate through the colony and also give the termites an opportunity to come out to gather food. Over here on the right, the eroded mound, you can see all exposed tunnels in there. Subterranean termites do not like sunshine. They won't come out during the day. They will tunnel under their food source, or they will wait until dark. They'll come out after dark and start breaking these pieces. They look like Thompson gazelles until you get up close to them. The ears, the horns, are very, very different. When they run, they've got a big old patch of fur on the backside, and they can spread it out. It's an alarm system to warn the other springbok, and it's also protection. All the instincts of the dominant male, but he's about 2 feet too short right now. So the girls tolerate him. Eventually he will take over the leadership of this giraffe tower. Dark gray, a little bit of white, a little gold beard. This is a non-dominant male, okay, because he's got the gold beard going on there. They're very, very intelligent. I would not expect him to sit still very long. He'll fill his cheek pouches and then go hide in the bushes. And he'll eat in the bushes where nobody can see him and nobody can steal his food from him. There's a couple of cave entrances down here. Most of them are probably in the cave because it's 20 lives. These are 2 juveniles. These are 2 girls, I believe. Could be sisters. There's one pair of sisters that's about 4 years apart. They're about the right size for that. Now they play a lot. They have to develop balance and muscle tone, learn how to use their trunks. So they horse around a lot. They have reduced that tree to nothing but a couple of branches right now. Here's a couple more of the youngsters. So they throw the dirt on their back with their trunk. It's a great sunscreen. Sometimes you get wet first. It sticks better when you're wet. There have been 6 births announced by the reserve in this herd over the last, 15 years? 4 of the calves are still attached to the main herd. There's 3 little girls and a little boy. I think the one on the left with his back to, I think that's the little boy, but don't hold me to it. They will have the 2nd longest childhood in the animal kingdom, between 11 and 13 years. It appears now that only a human has a longer childhood than an elephant. There's another one of them tearing that tree branch apart. The island curved beak, those are ibis. They're indigenous, part of the local species here. The flamingos do have some really intense coral coloring, but there's 2 little ones. There's a little one out under the palm tree. There's a little boy and a little girl. They're about a month apart. They were born in early spring of 2015. The white rhino live out here in the open grassland. They're much more of a community animal than the black rhino, primarily because of the environment they live in, the open grassland. They're not in the bushes. Gestation 16 months. Mama's going to have a shadow for about 3 years while these 2 little ones grow up. It's pretty. Now Mama there with the big horn, just turn her head towards you. That's her little girl behind her. This is a little boy over here. The little boy was abandoned by his birth mother. Scientists don't know why, but she just decided she didn't want him one day, trying to squish him against the rocks. So they bottle fed him here for about 7 months. The big female over here to the right, this is his foster mother. He's bonded with her. She'll raise him just like her own. So a happy ending to what could have been a horrible story. They are a tremendous conservation. Bontabuck used to live in the southern tip of the continent. They've been hunted to extinction on their native range. At one point, there were less than 2 dozen of them left on the planet. They're in protected reserves. They're breeding wide-striped, fairly common plains. Zebras, a lion's favorite food. Lions have to be careful though. Those hooves are one piece, and those guys are great kickers. They'll break a lion's jaw, single kick. Ostrich, about 7 feet tall, they can run 35 miles an hour. Unfortunately, their eyes are bigger than their brain, and the porch light's on.